Hey guys, and welcome to the first long form video on this channel. In front of me you can actually see my building corner, and what we're going to try to do today is we're going to try to do a time lapse with some voiceover in the end of me continuing building my 48 by 48 star city. I'll have to see if I have enough pieces to actually finish the apartments itself, but I think for the first level it should be good enough for now, and we'll see how far we get, and I hope my phone doesn't run out of storage in the meantime. So yeah, I already prepped a few things over here. You can see this is the current level that we're at with the city. You can see there's a little bit of a gap back there because we haven't really finished this section, so there's some more road needed, a tiny bit there and most of it there, and then we're gonna plant this building base, and potentially another building behind that. So we have around 3 to 4 buildings on this side, and then 1 building on this side, plus the park and the streets. And let's see how far I can get with this. I already prepped this building quite a while ago. Let me actually show it to you from this side. Oops. You can see, just a nice rooftop, some clothing line there, and also a little bit of an AC unit on the outside there, some windows, and so on. And this will very likely be the top of one of those buildings, but I'm not quite sure where I'm going to position it. It's going to be up quite a bit up in the air, because those buildings will be quite tall. They're very low right now, so even if I put this on here directly, this is not how it will look like in the end. It will probably be positioned somewhere here in the end. That's kind of the idea. So we have to see how this works out. I already prepped another building, which I partially assembled a little bit again. It's basically just a small base made out of coral colored bricks and white tiles and plates. And so the idea is to kind of showcase a little bit of a more, I guess, standard society with not as much money or wealth, or kind of not as a fortunate life down here, and then progressively aiming towards the top, get more into people who have been a little bit fortunate more in life, and to make the entire half seem more like heaven and the bottom more like hell, actually, to kind of represent how society is structured for many people that are struggling usually, and how it can go for people that have a much better chance at making things work. And so basically there's a lot of story in this involved, which you can't see right now. I've already prepped some minifigures here. There's gonna be a lot of phrases, or a lot of word play in here, and a lot of deeper meaning behind a lot of the buildings and behind a lot of the stuff, but it's not really visible right now because the things that I've built so far aren't really part of that. They're just the base for everything. So we have to see how far we get, and let's get started. Hey guys, this is me from the voiceover. So this clip is pretty much 40 times sped up or something like this. And what you're seeing is me initially gravitating towards the dark orange building here. It's just because this is where I put a lot of work in previously, like in the last session where I built on this, and you can see me try to figure out this angle, and it's actually really hard because it's a really weird angle and there's not really many tiles underneath there, so I had to insert some tiles and this and that. I had to test out some spacing issues between where basically this part that you see in the front connects to the normal rectangular connected piece in the rear. And then basically I built up from there. I figured out what kind of doorway I wanted, because you can see it's a 3 stud wide doorway. And that's just because there isn't that much space there, and I still wanted to have kind of like a stairs where you can walk up and stuff like that. You can see me trying to figure out some stylistic technique or choice for the entrance roof, so to speak. So I fiddled around with that and then ended up with using a stud, because I don't really have a 1x1 plate in dark bluish gray anymore. So I used a stud. Looks quite nice, adds a little bit of detail actually to it. And the window frame, I just left that open because I don't have 1x2x3 window frames yet. Lego is taking their time to send me my order, which includes a lot of window frames in all sizes and colors. So I will definitely add a few more windows where I just left gaps at the moment. And now you can see me flip it around. I made multiple clips. So this is the second clip. You can see it's a little bit later in the evening, actually. And I'm pretty much done with the other building. I'm continuing a little bit building on it, but now I started to finish the road in the lower left corner that you see right now. And I added some substructure with some red bricks, and then added some wedge plates to give the road a little bit of a swing, so to speak. And also some plates and tiles for the walkway. It's always a trial and error thing, so you can see me really trying things around and then taking them away again, and then doing it over and then removing stuff again, and then placing different colored plates, because sometimes you end up with a building technique or a situation where the plate shines through, and then if you added some tiles or some gaps as kind of a broken sideway or something like this, it looks weird if you don't if you don't cover the area underneath in a proper color. So if you have red shining through or green or something like this, it sometimes looks a little bit weird. And now you can see me actually figuring things out with the turntable that I used to position this. And I also did some modifications to the park, just removed some components to later rearrange them. And did some extra work in the corner there a little bit. And now I'm starting to lay the groundwork, including the color that I chose for this building, which is dark red. And I'm building this up quite nicely here. In the meantime, you can't even really see this. I also did some work on the green building as well. And here and there some details in the background. But because it's sped up so fast, you don't see everything. This was actually very interesting, really hard to do those angles again. I'm using all sorts of turntables, hinges, round plates and bricks to kind of curve certain sections and align them. You can see I'm really trying to merge the buildings together, and I'm also trying to expand the footprint of the building to not keep it 8x8, but actually make it a little bit larger than 8x8 and extend it a little bit, which makes it look a lot more realistic in my opinion. Now you can see me turn it around, and I added actually tiles with a little bit of an offset and lantern bricks on the side. Lantern bricks have a little bit of an I guess inset more than an offset, where if you put a tile on it, it sticks out 0.5 millimeter or something like this, which adds a good amount of texture to the building. I used some arches there, completed this section, and okay guys, many hours of building later. I'm, as I said, gonna try to time-lapse this. We are pretty much done with the first couple of buildings. There's one building missing in this corner and a tiny bit of street right there that I haven't filled in. But I'm gonna call it a day here. I've been building for many hours now, and it might initially not seem like much has happened, but all of this is very detailed work, right? So if I'm out to build a lot in a short period of time in terms of mass or volume, I could do that as well, but I think it would not really be beneficial because the end result is usually worth the extra effort of putting that time in. I'm not quite happy with some sections here. Like, I think this looks still a little bit weird here. I might go over that again. And again, I think the street being studded here is maybe also not ideal, but we'll see if I stick with that and call it a day with that, or if I change it. Basically, we have done a couple of things. So I think this is not really visible actually from the other perspective. So I did some slight, I guess, rails or like hand guards, so to speak, handrails. It kind of also still looks a little bit weird. I'm not too happy with that so far, but it's kind of a placeholder for some pieces that I don't have at the moment. So I think it's okay. We also got some trash cans right here in this corner. And I'm pretty happy with this small window there, actually. It was quite complicated to make that work, or actually not. I initially thought it would be complicated, but it wasn't. I just used a turntable inside and stacked some bricks and then basically lined it up. All of these buildings will not really have an interior, just sort of, in a certain sense. So we should be good with that. And then we will have a doorway here. I will clean this top section up later a little bit more. And we will have basically a back entrance or back exit. I'm thinking about making this a pub or a store similar to this one. So this one will either be a pub or a store. And then if this is the pub, then this will be a normal shop or something like this, or the other way around. And I mean, we have some residential building right here. I added this little print piece here for the I guess inputs to open the door and pin input and stuff like that, essentially. I also left gaps in many scenarios. Oh, this is not quite attached. I left many gaps like this pretty much because I need to add the 1x2x3 windows, which I will get delivered from Lego hopefully in 2 weeks or something like this. Also, I built this thing last time. I haven't really iterated more on it. The only thing that I'm really not so happy about this so far is that there's a tiny half a plate discrepancy here at the top right there, but I think the rest is quite decent. This is very tight here. The angles are what makes this incredibly hard to work with, really. It's kind of wobbly still because it isn't really attached. I've made it so that we have a pretty even surface and we can use that even surface to later on do stuff with and attach it properly. So I will come up with some turntables and round plates and stuff like that and jumpers to attach that properly. But the angles are pretty wild that we have here, as you probably already saw. We have a tiny gap there. I tried to fill it with a tile. Maybe you can even see it in the time lapse actually, but it didn't quite work. So I probably have to put some brick behind that, add this wall to flush this out, and then kind of have a black brick wall behind that. But I'm pretty happy with that. I made the sides more interesting. So first of all, I added a different color. I added reddish brown additionally. Some reddish brown pieces to this building and this wall to make it more interesting. And I also added archway, which is kind of covered at the top basically. This isn't quite fully attached yet, so there's some gaps there. And then we have those inverted slopes essentially creating a little bit more depth there. Again, I will try to add signs and some more glass doors and just stuff to that to make it more interesting than it is right now. But I think that's pretty good progress for now. We also have basically this way completed here. I'm pretty happy with this walkway. The street itself I'm not too happy with, but the walkway and how this all kind of came together here. And again, we will have another building in this corner. I'm trying to basically use an 8x8 footprint. Besides with this building, I wanted to make this bigger since this is in the front. And then with the footprint in mind, I will actually expand all these buildings a little bit. As you can see, this was also, I believe, an 8x8 footprint or 10x10, but then I expanded with this a little bit of a yeah, kind of sloped section there. And let me try to turn this around. My setup is really temporary here. I'm hoping to get some good desks and get more building space soon. I've been wanting to do that for quite a time now. So we also in the very beginning did this section, right? And this was really hard because, first of all, because of the angle, it took me forever to do this properly. And then also because I didn't really have any good ideas on how to attach this at the bottom. There's some wedge plates in dark orange that I don't have that I could use for this. There's also some round tiles, which I have a very limited number of in dark orange that I could have used for this. So it was kind of hard to get this done, but I'm pretty happy so far. I honestly will receive slight updates. I made the door 3 wide. That's the minimum minifigure size door should be or could be for it to not look weird. Similar to how I actually made sure that this whole thing fits on the plate by essentially making it 5 wide instead of 6 wide. So I will probably build 1 or 2 cars for this as well that will fit into this. And then, yeah, we will have cars that are 5 studs wide, 6 studs wide, 4 studs wide, and they will be driving around here probably quite comfortably. I quickly made some small adjustment to the traffic lights, but I don't have the correct colors for the actual lights. So there's some bricklink ordering and stuff like that needed in the next couple of weeks probably, or maybe months or 2, to actually fix this and make the colors right of everything. But overall, I'm very happy actually with the progress from today. I wouldn't have thought that I would almost complete all the first level of buildings here. We will switch up the colors the higher we go. Again, this will be pretty high, and we will have platforms on top. We will have even a section or a bridge here with actually a magnetic, I don't know how it's called. It's basically a train that is magnetically attached to a rail on top of it. There's a German word for it, but I can't come up with the English one. And we will have all of this stuff. So it's going to be pretty exciting, but all of these things are up for the next episode, including some adjustment to the park, which is still not quite done. I hope you overall enjoyed this video, and I hope that this won't get too long in the editing process. And yeah, see you in the next one.